Okay, welcome to B2. We're back on the Simmo social. Same group of lads, got some pegs booked out. A few days, hopefully plenty more of these. Hope you enjoy the video. Hi guys, welcome to Linear Fisheries and welcome back to the Simmo social. So it's been exactly 1 year since the first Simmo social, which was last August. We came in November, some of you might have seen that video, and we're back again. So we're back on Brasenose 2, and we've got the same pegs booked out as we had last year. And we're back for a bit of a social. So we got down this morning, 7:30ish. We got the swims from 8 o'clock. Had a little bit of a walk around. There was fish showing pretty much everywhere. All the swims were empty because people left late last night, probably because they didn't want the early pack up. So we had a little bit of a look around, then we did the draw down in the big double. So Ian brought his numbers and his bag of goodies along, and we did the draw. So the draw went like this. Who came first? So Nick drew first. So he's either having really good luck or really bad luck at the moment. So he's had a couple of lasts and he's just had a first. So Nick drew first and he decided to go into the right hand side of the double. So I think it's swim 30. Neil came second and he went into 31. He doubled up with him. Who came third? Ian came third. He went in 29. Ben came fourth. He went in 28. Fifth was me. I come up into 26, which is swim you can see me in now, which I've not fished before. And who came sixth? Ben came sixth. Ben McCarthy came sixth, and he went to my right up into 25, which was the swim that Nick was top rod from last year. And my dad came last, but he managed to slot in just to my left. In swim 27. I think I've got all that right. So we all got good swims. We knew we'd all get good swims, and we've got swim 24 up there free, and the causeway swims free, which we've popped bivvies in. We've paid for all of those as well, so we've got some moving if we was to need it. So it's been, I mean, for me, a bit of sorting out today and getting sorted, because I went to Norton a few weeks ago. We had that blank up at Norton. Other than that, I haven't been fishing all year. It's been a bit hectic. It's been getting sorted out and getting set up and whatnot. But it's been really weedy actually out in the lake, something that I didn't expect. It's usually just rock hard out there. Bit of weed, but not as bad as it has been today, and all the guys have been experiencing it. So I started off just laying out in the middle. The fish were showing right in the centre of the channel. so sort of 100, 110 yards, something like that. Out there was just absolute chocker of weed. I was bringing back in loads and loads of weed just on a bare lead, so I ended up coming in just a little bit short at the 23 wraps, and I was still bringing weed in, but it was much less, I suppose, and with the bare lead it felt pretty smooth. As soon as I put the grappling lead on, I was bringing it in. So what I did was I made probably 50, 60, 70 odd casts on the same line with the grappling lead, and I was bringing in weed every time and just piling it up on the bank, and I thought that I'd just basically clear a spot out as much as I could really, and then fish pop-ups over the top, which it wasn't ideal. It wasn't really what I wanted to be doing. I wanted to fish in D-rigs and wafters on the bottom, but I didn't have a choice unless I wanted to come in really close, which is a choice, and you know, you can catch fish in a bit closer, but that's just where I wanted to go. So yeah, I did that. I ended up putting 3 hinges on, so pop-ups. I'll talk you through the rigs later on in the session, and they just went out real nice, got good drops on all of them, just pushed the bead really far up, and yeah, just real slow sinking, so hoping they were going to sit on top of the weed. And then I put maybe 15 spoms or so over the top, so yeah, nice and accurate, or fairly accurate, like I say, 23 wraps, and you know, my casting's actually been okay today for a change. Not been that much of a nightmare. I know some of the lads have struggled a little bit because it's first time out, but yeah, casting, they all went out pretty well, and it was just a mix of tiger nuts, boilies and sweet corn. So the base of the mix was made up of tigers, so I wanted to do something a little bit different rather than just hemp and corn like everyone else. So a couple of scoops of tigers in there, and then there was a couple of big handfuls of boilies. They were just krill boilies from TKO, and then just 1 scoop of sweet corn, so not loads of sweet corn, just a little bit of that, and just mixed up, and that all went out there. So yeah, it was a bit quiet this afternoon. I didn't get the rods out till last. I didn't get rods out till like nearly 2 o'clock or something. It was a joke. I was running up and down the bank, just I don't know what I was doing, but I ended up getting my rods out last for some reason. So the first fish Neil had down in the left-hand side of the double, 24 poundish. I'll try and put a picture in there now if he can send it me. I wasn't able to get any footage or get down there. And then the second fish was Ben in swim 25. So yeah, he gave me a shout. He was playing one, and he's fishing about 18 wraps, I think, a little bit shorter. Again, it's really weedy, a bit further out, and he's just fishing fake corn, spomming over the top. Or no, sorry, I think he had it on a wafter, a little wafter dumbbell. Yeah, and he had a really nice fish. I went round there and gave him a hand with the netting and some photos, and got a little bit of video in that. But he had, I'm sure it was 27 pounds something, but real nice scaly fish. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then it was my turn. So I'll just leave you with a little bit of footage now of my first fish of the trip. Okay, here we go. So first fish of the trip, just under the magical 30 pound. It was 29.2. So rods have been in the water about, I don't know, maybe 3 hours or so, 2-3 hours. So yeah, quite a weedy spot out there. So we took it on a hinge, a little boilie pop-up. I'll show you all that in a bit. Yeah, mega start to the trip. Part of a double take. We haven't got the other one out yet. Yeah, real nice thick set fish. Fish is showing everywhere. Just waiting for the third rod to go now. Right, let's get her back. So yeah, I was lucky enough to have a double take. I just started getting liners, and then all of a sudden it just kicked off. Double take, that lovely 29 pounder, and then a proper Simmo looking 17 pounder. But yeah, it was proper made up. To be fair, the fish were everywhere, but the swim was a carnage. I got no rigs tied up or nothing. So the rods are all back out now. I've put some more spom over the top, getting the odd liner, the odd fish showing. So yeah, hopefully we can get a few more. But yeah, I'll give you an update in the night if we catch anything. I'll show you some of the fish that hopefully we catch. But if not, it'll be a bit of a catch up in the morning and let you know how things are going on. Right, I'll catch up with you soon.
But it's not like I need it, and we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget.
Okay guys, so it's about 9:30 on Friday night, so our first night. Not too long after I give you an update, we've been having liners and there's been fish showing all evening. Been sure it's going to happen, and we've just had a really nice barbecue with my dad and Ben. Just sat here having a chat and a few beers, fish showing, liners, and literally just as they've gone back to their bivvies, the left-hander just absolutely tanked off. So I've had a fish on every rod now, and this mega 22-pound common is my third fish of this afternoon going into the evening. So yeah, night's still young, fish still showing out there. 2 rods on the spot, we've got to get the third one back out. Yeah, looking really good for hopefully another couple of bites through the night. But yeah, I hope this looks all right, because it's a mega looking fish. Quite a dark looking common, got some good photos. Yeah, we'll get her back, and hopefully I'll see you a little later on.
When I'm lonely in the dark, I know you are with me, yeah. Don't you see that I need you so much? Don't you see that I love you so much? Oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, darling, I need your love. Oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, darling, I need your love.
Good morning guys, it's Saturday morning now. Nothing else has happened in my swim, so you saw that lovely common we had last night. But other than that, it was pretty quiet. A few liners, but not a great deal happened. But yeah, there has been a few more fish caught. It's, like I say, it's been quiet up this end. Me, Ben and my dad haven't caught anything. There's been a few fish showing, but it's nothing really to report. But down the bottom end, we had Ian, who broke his PB last night. So we had a 34-pounder. So Ian's only been fishing 12 months or so. He was very new to it on the last social. Yeah, he's got a year's worth of experience now, and he's doing really well. But yeah, 34-pound. A bit disappointed he didn't come and wake us up so we could go and give him a bucket. I think it was about 1 o'clock in the morning or something, so I don't really blame him, but he'll have to get a bucket for the next fish he catches just to make up for it or something. But yeah, I'll put a picture of that over now if he can send one over to me. And then I think just after he had that, Ben next door to him had one. Not sure exactly how big it was, mid-20s I think from the picture. Yeah, so that was that, and then this morning Ben's had another one, 29-pounder. So Ben's in 28. That's when my dad fished last year, so just to the left of my dad now. Yes, there's been a couple more fish caught, but other than that, it's been pretty quiet. Been a few fish showing, but it's flat calm. You can see behind me, there's no wind on the water there. It's pretty still. I mean, I've just been watching 3 or 4 coots just diving on my spot up and down, picking up bait, picked up my rigs a couple of times. So yeah, they don't really think there's much out there at the moment, but I have been seeing fish show shorter this morning. We've been having rain on and off, just drizzle, and they've been showing at a closer range. So I've just put a solid bag out, sort of 60 yards or so, to the area that they've been showing. It's a bit deeper there and a bit choddy and stuff, but whether they're working along a weed line or something out there, I'm not sure, but just chucked a solid bag for a couple of hours and see what happens. So yeah, I think it's going to be it's not going to be prolific this session. We know the weather's nowhere near as good as it was last year. We haven't got those big winds, the water's pretty still, and all these lakes up here fish a lot better with a wind on. So yeah, but hopefully we can just pick up fish like we are. I'm certainly not complaining. 3 fish up to high 20s, and we've only been fishing 12 hours or so really, or 15 hours, something like that. So yeah, I think we've had 8 or so for the group now, up to 34 pounds. So yeah, pretty good start. So yeah, hopefully they'll continue. Yeah, I'll talk you through the rigs and the bait and that this afternoon. Obviously I'm doing something very different to what I'd normally do up here because I'm fishing in the weed. Normally I'd fish clear areas, so I'll talk you through what I'm doing with that. But yeah, we'll give you an update in a little while. Right, catch you in a bit. Okay, here we are, fish number 4. So a nice scaly upper double, just under 20 pound this one. So yeah, been quiet all morning. The wind's just picked up a little bit, started to look a bit more favourable, and a couple of bites around the lake. Line has started again, and we was away. So yeah, taking on that hinge stiff rig over that weed on the helicopter system. Yeah, doing the damage. So we'll slip her back and we'll show you that rig now. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the rig that I've started off using for this session. So like I said earlier, it's a little bit different from the norm, I suppose. A lot of the lakes up here are usually pretty clear of weed, or certainly got lots of clear areas, and you're fishing generally bottom baits or wafters. But obviously in this situation we've got a lot of weed out in front of the swim, and I've opted to fish in the weed rather than come back shorter and fish on the clearer ground. So what I've gone for is a hinge stiff rig. So it's a rig that I've used lots over the years, not so much on these kind of waters, but certainly on big fish waters. It's a very good hooker of fish. Tends to be not so good for smaller fish, just because it's a bit more obvious and a bit more blatant, but a good big fish rig. But in the weed it's pretty well disguised, so I figured it would be my best option. So starting from the business end, we've got a cut down Oxford carp baits, or Ocean Spice pop-up on there. So they're actually the only fish meal pop-ups that I had. So they're 16mm, and I've just critically balanced that down because I'm not using any putty. So I've just trimmed the sides of that down, just so it sinks under the weight of the hook and the swivel. Coming down from that, you've got a size 4 chod hook. So that's a microbarb chod hook, and the Corda chod link there. Down to, I believe, a size 11 ring swivel. And then we've got about 6 to 8 inches of amnesia there. I like amnesia, it's not too stiff, so if this does sit over the weed, which it's going to, it can take on the kind of contours of the bottom, whereas fluorocarbon sometimes, like IQD rigs and that, they're good, but you need to fish them on real clean bottom because they can stick up a little bit. So yeah, this amnesia is just a little bit more supple, there's no memory there. Okay, so that's your rig, and that's all mounted onto a leg core leader. So we've got a 4-ounce dumpy distance lead onto a heli safe, and I've got about 3 foot of leg core, and you'll see that I've got the bead set probably about 12-14 inches up, so that rig can slide all the way along, hit that top bead and sit on top of the weed. So I'm getting a good drop in between the weed out there. You know, it's not like it's just sinking into real deep weed. I'm getting a proper thud down on the rod, but obviously I know from the work we did with the grappling lead yesterday that there's a lot of weed out there. So that's just flying up and sitting on top. Obviously I've had 3 bites doing it. I've also just had a pick up from a coot as well, so the baits, they can get the baits in the mouth, no problem. And I'm just spomming bait over the top, which is going to be going in and around the weed and hopefully clearing the spot a little bit as we go. And you never know, by the end of the trip we might even be able to get some wafters out there if the spot does really clear up. Yeah, so that's the rig we're using and why we're using it. Evening guys, so it's Saturday evening now. It's been another quiet day. Only a few fish caught. I think you last saw me have that nice upper double this afternoon. Yeah, so since then there's been a couple more fish caught. So the first one was Nick down in the big double. So Nick was on the blank until this afternoon. He was really struggling to find a spot down there, just really weedy, and yeah, just everything shallow was just covered in weed. So he was having to fish slightly deeper water. But he's gone out a little bit longer down there now, and like I say, just caught the first one. It's chucking it down. I went down and did a hand with some video and some pictures. It was £23, and he caught it on over a spotted area with fake corn. Yeah, so he's off the mark, and I'm pretty happy. After that was Ian next door. He's caught 3 now. He's had another mid-20 this afternoon. I was actually down there giving him a hand, doing a little bit of video of him playing the fish, and even saw him net the fish. But just after that happened, we had to run back up here because Ben had got one as well. Ben's was £22. He just finished putting a little bit of spot out there. He's fishing about 18 wraps in swim 25 with double fake corn. He had that on a spinner rig. But yeah, pretty nice fish. We just stuck it in the sling for a little bit. I think it was just finished raining at the time, so he got his rods back out and went round and did some photos and a little bit of video. But yeah, it's been a quiet afternoon. The wind's kind of dropped. There's been not a great deal of fish showing. The ones that have been showing look a bit kind of ziggy, and yeah, not really a great deal in the way of feeding fish. But yeah, we've all kept putting just a little bit of bait in and just freshening the rods up, re-chucking the rods, and yeah, just doing our best really. So hopefully the fish get on the feed tonight and we have a few more. So yeah, I'll update you in the night if anything else happens. If not, I'll catch up with you in the morning. All right then, catch you later. Morning guys, so it's 1:15 now, Sunday morning. So I last left you with it all looking a little bit quiet and slow. We had another lovely barbecue, me, Ben and Dad, a few beers, and yeah, had a nice evening, which got cut short really because the rain come in again at about 10 o'clock, so we all went back to our bivvies and kind of bivvy bound from then. But we were all fairly tired anyway, so that was okay. But the rain just got heavier and heavier, a little bit of wind picked up. And I started to get liners again, not loads, but just the odd one or two, just to let me know that there was fish about near the spot. Yeah, and at 12:30, my right hand has just gone into absolute meltdown, absolutely screamed off. So much so that it was going that quick. I just decided to run down in the rain, no shoes on, to get the rod. Didn't even put my shoes on, so I got soaking wet feet. But yeah, got to the rod, and unfortunately as soon as I got there it just stopped, and I've come back in with basically just my leg core, my rig, and just a little bit of weed on the rig. The lead's gone, so it's done its job, dropped the lead on the take. But yeah, unfortunately no fish, so it's tough to swallow, especially when bites are pretty hard to come by at the moment, and you know, you're having to wait hours between takes. But yeah, it happens to everybody. Could have been anything, you know, it could have been just a poor hook hold, yeah, anything, especially with that much weed about, you know, the rig could have been sitting a bit funny, or could have, you know, been caught up on a bit of weed when the fish picked it up or anything. But yeah, the hook was still sharp, you know, there was nothing wrong with it, you know, rig was still presenting well, pop-up was sitting well. But yeah, so we've just clipped it back up and pinged it back out there, and he took a couple of casts and got a real nice drop, and it's right back on the spot again. You know, shone the light on the lines, and you can see it's pointing right onto the zone. So yeah, hearing fish showing, getting the odd liner again. Chap over the way has just had one as well, so yeah, you can feel this wind's picked up. Not sure what direction it's blowing, but any wind's better than no wind, even if it's not favourable for this swim. So yeah, you feel as soon as that wind picks up over the last couple of days, you know, it's fished and better, and bites have come all around the lake. So yeah, hopefully there's time for another one tonight. But if not, I'll obviously catch up with you in the morning at some point and let you know what's happened. There's been nothing else in the WhatsApp group so far tonight, so I don't think anything else has been caught. But I'll fill you in on all that in the morning. Right, catch you in a bit. Okay, here we are then. Someone's finally off the mark. So Dad's first fish, how big was it?
26.
10?
10.
£26, 10 ounce. Lovely thick set fish. Taken on double fake corn. over a spotted area. It's been all quiet up until now, and he's just finally had his first bite. But 3 rods on a spot, really accurate, tight spomming. I knew it'd come good. He managed to get it in without taking his other rods out. Still got 2 out there fishing, every chance of another bite. Happy days, well done.
Happy days.
Well done. Right, let's get some stills and get her back. Okay.
Found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I deserve to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. There's nothing left for me to hide. Don't wanna live a lie.
Here we go then, Dad's second fish and second one of the night. £21 too.
21-2.
What was this one on?
Tip with corn.
Wafter, tip
with corn.
Nice. 19 wraps over that bed of bait. There we go, all of a sudden 2 fish in one night. It's a lovely dark fish, looks
Happy
lovely, doesn't
days.
it? Right, let's get some pictures and we'll get her back. Well done.
Cheers.
Okay, here we go. So finally my 5th fish of the session. So sorry I haven't updated you yet this morning. It's been a bit of a hectic morning. There's been quite a few fish caught actually. Things have turned around a little bit for most people. I'll give you a little update shortly and let you know what's been going on. But yeah, I made a few small changes. Brought my spot in a little bit shorter. Found a little bit of a clearer area. I wasn't completely convinced with the spot I was fishing. Even though I'd had bites off there, the weed was just still so bad. So I'm actually fishing bottom baits now, wafters. Yeah, they've been out about an hour. A couple of spoms over the top every sort of 40 minutes or so. And yeah, this nice mid-20 is ours. So yeah, really nice fish, thick set fish. Yeah, we'll get a few photos, get her back. And like I say, shortly I'll fill you in on everything else that's been going on and the other fish that have been caught. Happy days. Right, let's get some pictures. Right, good afternoon guys. It's Sunday afternoon now, 1 o'clock. It's been a bit of a hectic day, so sorry for the late update. You'll have seen 2 or 3 fish at least on film this morning, maybe a couple of my dad's and one of mine. I'm losing count a little bit and losing kind of track of the video and what order everything's in, so I hope it's all made sense so far. So yeah, we'll start from this morning. It's a much better day for fishing today. We've got a wind come up. It's like a west-northwesterly wind, so it's blowing down the wrong end from my point of view, but any wind's better than no wind. I think I said that yesterday in one of my updates. So yeah, it was a really nice, still, flat, calm morning. You know, it looked like it was going to be a good day for carp fishing. As soon as the wind got up, basically fish started getting caught all over the lake really. So yeah, there's been fish out all morning. So I think what's probably best to do is I'll just cut in here and show you some of the fish that have been caught this morning. I've lost count completely. I know Neil hasn't had anything. Nick has had 1 or 2, maybe even 3 this morning. Ian's definitely had a couple. I think Ben's playing one now. My dad's had a couple. I've had one, and Ben had one in the night that he didn't get any footage of that though. That was £26 he had that in the night. So yeah, I'll cut in some of the footage now that's been taken by the lads down the bottom, so hopefully you can see some of the fish that they've had. Yeah, from my point of view, obviously I lost that fish in the night, and I've had 5 bites off that weedy spot out there now, but I just wasn't happy, if I'm completely honest. So first thing this morning I woke up and there's fish either side of me and all the way down this bank getting caught closer in, sort of like anything from 70 to 90 yards, and I'm fishing like nearly 100 yards. So I thought I'm going to find something clearer that I can fish D-rigs and bottom baits on, something I'm a bit more confident in, rather than fishing in all that weed. And like I say, I know I had bites, had 5 bites out of it. Some people might think you're mad for moving off a spot like that, but I just felt like I should have been catching more, if I'm completely honest. And I was paranoid that those, even though those hinges were sitting as well as they could, they might not have always been fishing. It was quite weedy out there. So what I did was I found a spot at 21 wraps, so only 2 rod lengths short, really frustrating, on exactly the same line. Smaller spot, a little bit narrower, so probably like 10 foot wide, something like that. And I got a drag back of about 3 foot of like proper clean gravel. And even on the grappling lead, there was only tiny prongs of weed on there. It was really, really nice spot. And I was getting lots of liners through the trip as well, so potentially fish have been, you know, closer in, and I could have caught more fish if I had been fishing closer. So yeah, basically I've put 3 rods on a spot there, really, really close together, sort of 2-3 foot apart, and I put 10 spoms over the top. And yeah, I've had one, you'll have already seen that, it's sort of mid-20, 24 poundish, really nice chunky fish. Yeah, and that come on basically a D-rig with a tiger nut, balanced tiger nut, so corked out, tipped with a little bit of corn. And I'll show you this rig after this video, so you can see what I'm fishing with. It's on the helicopter system, exactly the same. The bead's nowhere near as high, it's only a couple of inches up now. So yeah, so yeah, I think we're up to around 20, 21, 22 fish, something like that now. We set a revised target. I won't tell you what the original target was, but we set a revised target when we knew it was getting tough, that if we could catch 25 fish as a group. I think at this point we was on like 8 or 9 after, you know, 36 hours. And it's really turned on today. So like I say, it's not just us catching. The guy over the way from me has had 3 fish in the last hour, fishing in slightly shallower water. I think the guys in the point have caught, the guys over in the opposite side of the bowl have caught. So it's not just us by any means. You know, the whole lake is catching a few fish. No one's having it off, no one's getting bite after bite. But you know, there's a few. I think I'm on 5 now. I think Ian might be on 5 as well. A few people on 3. I mean, my dad was on the blank going into the night. He's caught 3 fish this morning, you know. So yeah, really has turned the trip around, to be fair. So I'm going to keep the bait going in on my spot, see if I can draw some more bites in. Definitely after spomming is definitely the one on here, just little and often, keep it dripping in over the spots. When it's good weather, obviously when it's crap weather and they're not feeding, you know, it doesn't really matter. But when they're on it and they look like they're going to have a bit of a feed, just keep that bait going in really slowly, and they'll get on it. So yeah, I'll give you an update later on this afternoon and let you know what's been going on, and obviously hopefully there's a few more fish to be caught as well. But yeah, hope you're enjoying the video so far, and we'll catch up with you in a bit. See you later. Okay, so here's our new rig that we're using. So like I said, we've moved spots to a much clearer area, so there's no need for those hinges anymore. I wanted a bait that I could fish pretty much flat on the bottom. So yeah, we'll start off with the bait. So we've got a drilled out tiger nut, so they're beetle and black tiger nuts. So corked out, just to give it a little bit of extra buoyancy, topped off with a bit of floating or pop-up rubber corn. Okay, it's just a bit of a sighter, there's a little bit of corn in the mix now. Yeah, so that's just critically balanced, so it just sinks under the weight of the hook, just sits up off the bottom. Coming down from there, we've got a size 4 choddy hook, so micro barbed. Now these hooks, I'm not going to go into any detail on this session or in this video, but these hooks are actually test hooks. All the hooks and swivels I've been using this session are basically prototypes that I'm testing for a brand of tackle. So yeah, very exciting project or venture that's on the horizon. So far they're doing all right. They're just fresh out the like fresh from the manufacturers. They're not sharpened or anything. We're just using them fresh out the packet, if you like. Yeah, so that's the hook, and then we've got about 6 to 7 inches of amnesia hook link. So nice, cheap and cheerful hook link. Really like this. I explained yesterday why I was using it, I think. Yeah, so that's 055, and it's just tied off with a perfection loop knot at the end, which is just attached to a quick link swivel on my leg core leader, exactly the same as my hinge rigs. I haven't got the bead up anywhere near as high now. It's just a couple of inches at the bottom. just to allow the rig a little bit of movement over the clean area, just in case there is any little bits of debris or whatever down there. So yeah, that's it, nice and simple. I've got that on all 3 rods. I've got 2 with the rubber toppers, and I've got 1 that's just got 2 tiger nuts on. Both of them are corked out and joined together. So yeah, 1 not bright and 2 with a little bit of bright on. So yeah, hopefully it keeps working. It didn't take long to get a bite last time, and hopefully there's a few more on the cards.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
Here we go then, fish number 6. So yeah, it's looking a little bit quiet this afternoon. The sun's come out. Still nice and windy, but yeah, a little bit quiet up this end. Not too many fish showing. And then pretty much out of the blue, to be fair, the right hand has just gone again. Same rod, tiger nut tip with a little bit of sweet corn. That rig that I've already shown you. It's 25.
25.12.
£25.12, yeah, so just under £26. So the second biggest I've caught so far. Another one that I thought was £30. Yeah, mega fish, proper solid. Give me a proper scrap. Right, let's put her down, get some stills and get her back. Here we go then. What, 5 minutes after we put that last fish back? Left hand rod, absolutely ripped off. Proper churner, same rig, tiger nut and corn. To be fair, I thought it was a small one. It didn't really fight very much, come all the way into the edge. Ben come into the water and helped me net it. And when it popped up, we actually thought it's bigger than we thought. So it was 27.8. Yeah, so 27.5 pound, second biggest of the trip. That's 2 mid to upper 20s in about 15 minutes. So there's a few fish out there feeding, so I've got to get the rod wrapped up and get the rod back out. So yeah, we'll get some more pictures, get it back, and hopefully there's time for another one. Happy days. Evening guys, so it's Sunday night now, our last night. So it's been a really nice day, nice and warm. You can see behind me, it's a lovely sunset. Looks really nice. The lake's gone like a mill pond now, flat calm all over. There's not a lot happening really, no fish really showing, and nothing's happened for a good few hours now. I think Neil was the last one to catch just after I had my last one. But it's been a good day. We've taken the group tally up to 27 fish. So yeah, we've got to that target of 25 that we set ourselves yesterday morning when things were looking a bit grim, with a night to go. So yeah, hopefully there's a few more to go. Everyone's got the rods out, rods baited. Yeah, hopeful for tonight. So it's full moon night tonight, so it's really clear. We should get a really good view of the full moon tonight, so looking forward to that. I'll try and get a bit of footage, but it never comes out quite as good as it actually feels in person on the iPhone. So yeah, I'll try and get a little bit of that in there for you. But yeah, it's been a really good day. I've enjoyed it. Nice to see everybody getting amongst the fish. Hopefully there's a few more in store as well. So it's looking good. Everyone's caught off the spots they're fishing. So oh, it's all right. We're just mid barbecue, and Ben thought he could hear his alarm. He's in the swim next door to me. He's just gone dashing off through the bushes. But yeah, it's been a really good day. I think everyone's confident of a few more. So yeah, fingers crossed. Obviously, as usual, if anything happens in the night, I'll let you know. If not, I'll catch up with you in the morning. We've got the lake till lunchtime, so we'll probably stick it out till around then, probably just before 10, 11 o'clock, something like that, depending on how things are looking. But yeah, I'll let you know either way, either in the night or in the morning. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Right, see you in a bit. Check that out. What a fish. So yeah, 16.5 pound, nice scaly B2 carp. Certainly not the biggest, but definitely the prettiest. So yeah, the lads disappeared off from the barbecue. The liners started again. Real savage liners, one after the other. Could hear them lumping out in the distance. I knew it wouldn't be long, and yeah, after about half an hour of liners, middle rod was away. Yeah, and this is the culprit. Lovely little carp, again taking on the tigers with a little bit of plastic. So yeah, Ben's just had one next door, quite a good fish, and I think Neil's had one down in the double as well. So really, really good start to the evening. Hopefully there's more to come. Right, let's get it back. Hopefully a little bit of a bigger one next. Morning guys, so it's 11 o'clock now, last morning. We've got about an hour left till we've got to be off the lake. So yeah, we're pretty much done. So nothing else happened for me last night, unfortunately. It was pretty quiet. Had a few more liners after I had that fish. But other than that, it just went quiet and that was it. But there was a few fish out around the lake. Ben had that one that I told you about the same time as me. That was a mid-20, that was £25. Didn't get any footage of that one though. And then my dad had one about 3 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock, something like that. Again, he said he'd come and wake me up, but I was that tired I didn't get over there to do any pictures. I think I just went back to sleep or something, but that was about £15. And then that was it for the night really. And then this morning I believe Neil and Nick have had a few down in the double swim. I'm not sure exactly how many. I know Neil definitely had a couple and Nick's had maybe one at first light or two, and he's had another double take since. I did get down there and get a little bit of footage of him playing one. Yeah, he's fishing out quite long, 26 wraps, and like I say, yeah, he's had a couple. I think he's had 3 like high doubles, low 20s this morning, something like that. So yeah, he's really turned his trip around. To be fair, he was on 1 fish yesterday morning, and he's now on 7, I think. So yeah, he's done really well. Ben has had another one this morning in 28. A mid-20. I didn't stick around to see him weigh it, but it looked about 24 poundish, something like that. Yeah, so I think he's had 4 fish now. So yeah, he was happy. And then Ben to my right in 25, he's just had a 22 pounder on solid bags. So yeah, he ended the trip off with a fish, which is nice. Yeah, so for me this morning, it's looked good out there, to be fair. I've been getting liners and there's been the odd fish showing. I put a bit more bait out this morning. I only recast one rod. I had a little bit of a funny occurrence on one in the night, which I left in the night because I wasn't sure. I recast that this morning and then just put a couple of spoms. I put about 5 or 6 spoms over the top and they all went out really well. And I've been getting liners ever since really, but it just hasn't happened yet. And like I say, we're running out of time. It looks really good for one, but yeah, we are running out of time. So yeah, so we pretty much end the session now. It's been really good, really enjoyed it. I think it puts last year's trip into perspective really. I mean, we had the best weather ever and we had 95 fish. It just really shows how we had it off last year and how good it was. But I think you appreciate trips like that even more when you have the tougher ones. And we still caught well. Everyone's caught between 4 and 8 fish. I'm not sure on the final tally yet. It's about 35, 36, 37, something like that. So considering we was only on about 10 fish or something after 24 hours or 36 hours, we've turned it around, and yesterday's weather really picked the fishing up, and it's turned into a really enjoyable trip. So yeah, as usual, as always on here, the average size is ridiculous. Pretty much everything's £20 plus. The amount of kind of 25 to 29 pounders we've had is mad. A few doubles thrown in as well, obviously. But yeah, really good average size. So yeah, I guess until next time, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't done already, please subscribe and follow the channel. It's much appreciated. And yeah, we'll catch up with you on the bank soon. Take it easy.
But we fall 1,000 times, but I never say goodbye or ever leave this stuff behind. When it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad, it's uneasy. I wouldn't have it another way. There's no other way. Yeah. When it hurts like this.
Here we go then, last knock-ins. Finally got a take this morning. Nice mid-double to end the session. Finished on 9 fish. Happy days. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.